This is my brand new hinged lift bridge. Hidden hinges. And as you can see, there are no wires. However, something strange happens when you put a train on the track. What is this sorcery? Hello YouTubes, this is my new and improved hinged lift bridge. By the end of this video it will also be a powered hinged lift bridge. It's also got soft close. Oh yeah. So this is my proof of concept bridge. Made it out of MDF because it's cheap and I knew it wouldn't last for long, and I also messed up where the hinges went, had to notch it out. So this nice new section of quality ply I got from James at Dundas Junction Model Railroad, or is it Dundas Valley? I always forget. Anyway, there's a link up there to James's channel. He does exceptional layout work. So my new hinges are moved forward compared to them, so I don't have to notch them out. And I've got incredibly close. Really nice. The other side I've also changed from an NDF. It did have this section of MDF with holes drilled in it, and you could see it was already starting to split. So I'll get some nice ply there. It's got an L bracket. I'll get into why I've done this later, but that's also a nice close. Now you're maybe thinking, what about these big holes, Dave? Well, I've got a solution for that. Cork. Two types of cork. Got a very thin cork and a big thick cork. That'll be the roadbed. Let me give you a closer look how that's going to work. I intentionally installed the bridge a couple of mil lower than it should be. Bearing in mind with these hinges I can still raise it a little bit. But that was because I knew that I was going to have to cover up all the witchcraft that's going to go on in here to power the bridge. So I will be, once all the fancy stuff's done on the bridge itself, I'll install this section of cork. That's that backing sheet because it's actually self-adhesive, which is really neat. So that will go on there, and that brings it up to level with that. But then we still have the track bed. So just by chance, this is 4 inches wide, and it's just the right distance for two lengths of track side by side, perfectly matched. Not perfectly matched, perfectly spaced, if you like. So that'll go in the middle, and then I can ballast on top of that once the rails are on. And that's pretty much it. Obviously I'm going to need some barriers at the sides, but that is all going to work. I've got some angular work to do with the cork. But even at that cork is right up to the edge, as you can see, and it doesn't interfere with the side of the table. Okay, but obviously I'm going to need another bit of cork at this side. So what I'll need to do is maybe angle this that way just a little bit, and angle this one inwards a little bit, because this section here needs to duck under, and I'll be doing the same with the rails. You can see how it's leaning forward, but then it starts coming away. So I just need a little notch, a little angle there, and a little angle on the underside, and I think we will be good. So before I put all that together, I do need to sort out the power. I did go through this on the last video on the bridge, and if I miss anything in this video, you can click up there and you can see the process of getting power to this bridge. But regardless, I'll show you what I'm doing this time. So let us presume our tracks are roughly there. I am going to connect power from that rail and that rail and that rail and that rail through the bottom of the bridge. So let's remove all this and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Where the end of the bridge meets this ledge, I will of course be using my alignment dowels, my brass alignment dowels, which I have tested, and they do conduct power or electricity. So what I think I'll do is, and this is why I've done a sort of extension here, because this dowel will be going through there at either side, and they are really the main alignment dowels, okay, so it'll always be in place. And then I'm going to put another two, one there and one there for one track, one there for another track, and then I'm going to solder onto the ends. Let me show you how I'm going to do that. So we put our little dowel, and I obviously need to do this with all of them except the outer ones, which won't have power going to them. Some flux. Getting a little bit of wire. And what I'm going to do with the wire is I'm going to bend the end 90 degrees because I want the wire to sit that way around so that it can come straight through a hole. I don't want it sideways. Okay. A bit of flux on that as well. Now I have an adjustable soldering iron and I pumped it right up to 800 and something degrees. These will be clean, hold on. Because this is going to require quite a lot of heat to melt the solder, or not so much to melt the solder, but to get the solder to connect to that properly. So quite hot. So let's try and get some solder onto the end of my dowel. Might have to sit it against there for a little while to get the heat going through. So I'm going to put a little bit more flux on because it might burn off quite a lot before it gets hot enough. Hands are shaky because I've had too much coffee. Give me a break. Get a blob on there. Perfect. Get our wire on. Like so. One down, 3 to go. Simple as that. Next thing I want to do is get my first thin layer of cork on. I can't put the thick layer of cork on for the track bed yet because I need to get the dowels through this while it's stuck down, because I only want a small hole for the wire coming through the track bed. It'll make sense. Let me get this down. Now, if you've never laid self-adhesive strips, either cork or vinyl, here's how you can do it and align it without taking the whole tape off and flopping about with a big bit of sticky material. Line it all up first, exactly where you want it. Now, if this was like, if I was doing a big giant sticker on a car, then I would put a bit of masking tape across here, but obviously I can't do that. So I'm going to secure it in place with this for now. Next thing we want to do is peel this off. About that much will do. Get a pair of scissors, cut away your backing tape or your backing paper. And because the other side is aligned, we can just bring this up and it'll follow the... What happened? It spun. Normally that works. Anyway, you can follow the line along like so. Then we can take a clamp off. Should have maybe used 2 clamps. Peel that bit off. And follow that back. There we go. Perfect alignment. Okay, next. Let's get our 2 outer alignment dowels in because they are not going to be powered. However, this is still a wee bit tacky, so I'm going to lift this up and drill through there so that we can put this cork over and hide that first alignment dowel. Okay, so it's not obvious. Now, this is not rocket surgery at the moment because I'm going to drill all the way through from there right down to there. So I don't need to drill a hole there, then lift this up, then drill a hole there. It's going to go all the way through, and that means it's going to be aligned. So let's go right in the middle, which is there, And we'll go maybe a bit that far in. Same on the other side. Again, it's not rocket surgery. That's the middle, and I want it a bit there. There and there. Okay? Use an appropriate size drill bit. See how that's moving about a little bit? Let's clamp that down for now so we don't have any boo-boos. I'm trying to get its natural resting point because there's a certain amount of movement because of the other side. Once it's in its dowels, it won't move, trust me. Okay, now we can drill. Lovely. Now, I had mentioned before that I was going to have the female dowels at the top so that they didn't collect dirt, but I've got a better plan. So I'm going to put these down there. I'll get to my better plan later. So that one can go in there. Flush with the wood. And this one obviously goes on the top. And that should line up nicely. I've got a bit of a bump there. The wood's not quite thick enough. I think I can live with a little bump. Or can I? Can I live with that bump? Possibly not. What happens if I push it flush? I'll think about that. I might file that flat, but then that's not going to help me with the other ones. Oh, now I've got junk all over my glue. Hey, we live and learn. Well, sometimes we don't learn. Can I live with that bump? I'm not sure about that. And it's purely aesthetic, you know, because I can put ballast all across the bridge and you won't see that. Doesn't mean I like it though. Let me think about that before I do the other one. Okay, I've decided I can't live with the bump. So I think what we'll do is, I'll take this out for now. It is not exactly mega tight, but it's okay. I can use some wood glue to secure that. I'm actually going to drill through that. It's going to be easier to like hide a small circle rather than trying to hide that whole crater or mountain, whatever we want to call it. I think that'll work better and that can sit flush. Yeah, I can always put a little bit of filler over the top. Yeah, that makes sense. Right, let me get the other side done. Yeah, we're just going to drill straight through the cork this time. Okay, our first alignment dowels are in place. Lovely. So, power time. Yes, I forgot to put in the female one. There we go. So, 2 of these female dowels will be coming through roughly there, and 2 will be roughly there. So before I can drill the holes, I need to put the thick cork on and put the tracks roughly where they're going to go on the bridge itself and drill small holes for the wires. So I went ahead and sanded down an angle on both sides. So this will be the hinged side and that side is also angled. So that will sit roughly there. So you're always going to have a bit of a gap, but hopefully when I lift this up and they'll be glued down, then it shouldn't interfere. Lovely. And obviously I'll need to do the same with the track. That works fine. Right, I need to glue this down. Actually, before I glue it down, I need to just sand a little bevel all the way along that side and that side, because this will be the track road bed, and when I put ballast down, I don't want a 90-degree angle. So let me sand that down and then I'll get that glued on. Right, that's my cork glued down, but obviously I need to wait for that to dry before I drill through it. However, I do have 2 more holes to drill through this. So there's going to be 2 dowels with wires coming from there and 2 from there. So I only need 1 hole there, 1 hole there, all the way through. That's about 2 inches worth of drilling. So I want it in this section here. Any higher and it'll hit this plywood, so it needs to be right down there. So hole there. And then once that's dry, we can move on to the fun part with the dowels and the wires. Time to crack open the new Flex Track. That one's got a slight curve to it already. I want 2 straight bits. This is arguably the most important part of the entire layout. Got to have these nice and straight going over the bridge. So I need to get these over to me bridge, because I can't drill my holes till I know where the wires are going. And I won't know where the wires are going until I lay the track. So I need to get these in position. And I'm going to just leave a tiny bit of overhang. I've worked this out so that when this side of the bridge is down, let me get this other piece of roadbed to show you what I'm talking about. So I've angled that, as you can see, and I've angled this section slightly of the cork, and that can actually slide right in there. This looks wider because it's not been sanded down at the sides yet, but that can go right in there, nice and close. It's only highlighted because I've got a black mark there, but that's going to be really close. So I'll probably do the same with the rails, cut them at a slight angle so that I get a pretty much perfect join. Anyway, that's not what we're doing at the moment. We need to get the track down. And then I can mark, once these are centered, mark where I want the wires to attach to the rails. 1 at each side there, 1 at each side there. Small hole going through there. Actually, no, I'm going to have to do it the same size hole as that because I need to get the dowels through this. That's okay. Why is that bent? Goodness, that's a brand new bit of track as well. Ah, well, not to worry. Might end up chopping that off. Okay, so let me mark them, drill them, and then we'll get our powered dowels in. So I ran into a bit of a geometry problem. Because I've now got all this cork, the angle of the rails means that I can't put them right up at the edge there. This has got to overhang this much because it needs to be that far back for it to start going down immediately. If it's back here, then it doesn't go down immediately, it goes in and kind of up, which is kind of annoying. So I've had to cut these little slots. I know that looks hideous, but once I've got that over, then it's just very small slots just for the rails. And I can put dummy sleepers in the gaps on that section of cork, so it shouldn't be too bad. So that should now work. I've got the other side lined up. Those little dots where I'm going to be drilling the holes for the dowels. So this should now, once it's lined up and nailed in, it'll be fine, trust me. So that goes in there. Okay, you get the idea? I was really worried there because it wasn't going to work. Okay, let's get some holes drilled. So we need 4 holes, and as before, we're going all the way through. And don't worry about these being gigantic holes. Remember, once one of these dowels is in, then when we fill it with ballast, it'll fill the gap and you won't notice it. I hope. Okay, let's do one at a time, make sure they line up. I'm not going to use my wire ones at the moment, I just want to make sure that they all fit in nicely, okay? So we have decided we are going female under there, male in this side. Okay, it fits. So you see the hole there? Well, at the bottom of the cork pretty much is where the dowel lives. So we're good there. Lovely. Right, let me get the other 3 done. Right, that's all my holes drilled. Let's get that dowel out again. We don't want to use that one. And remove this one. And we can get our wire dowels in. So what I think I'll do at this point is just put a dot of wood glue in the holes before I put these in, and then once they're flush, leave that for a bit for the glue to set. Okay. Actually, you know what? It'd make more sense to put it around this, wouldn't it? Yeah. Push that down till it's flush. Wipe away the excess glue. One down, 3 to go. Okay, that'll do. I'm starting to wreck the wood by pushing it in and out all the time. Right, make sure that still fits. Lovely. Okay, onto the hard bit, the top dowels. Actually, we should probably tuck our wires out the way and get them through their holes. Now, obviously, I should have used 2 different colour of wires. So what I'll need to do is, let's say that's going to be the outside rail, that's going to be the outside rail. So I'll just, once I put them through the hole, get to the other side, I'll put a bit of green tape in that one. So that goes in there. Make sure to throw the tape away on the floor. Need the exercise after all. Bit of tape, green, outside rail, okay? That's more for my benefit than yours. Nice and neat. And the other one, this is my outside rail again. Bit of green tape again. And finally, this one. Lovely. Yep, I'm happy with that, nice and neat. Okay, now we can do the top dowels. So when I put these in, I'm going to leave some wire sticking up, not that much obviously, I don't need all that, because this will be getting soldered onto each side of each rail outsides, okay? So I'll leave them that long for now, it's easier to hold. So let me get them all glued in, as before. Stick them up from the underside, I guess that's easiest. I'm just making sure, so I want the wire on the outsides, round like that, so the wire will be way over here. I don't need to cut these wires just now, let's just get them all glued in place, shall we? Okay, awesome. All that's left to do then, cut these wires down, strip them, bend them kind of 90 degrees, a little hook so that they hook onto the sides of the outer rails, and then solder them on, and hopefully not destroy all my plastic sleepers. Wish me luck. My first section of track is now installed on my new layout, and I managed not to make too much of a mess down there. A little bit of solder there. As I say, this is all going to get ballast. Those holes will get hidden. I suppose I better hook up these two wires to just a DC power pack for now. I hope the other ones run away. And we'll try a train, shall we? My little Tyco power pack is all hooked up. I think we're ready to go. Now, if this doesn't work, I do have a plan B. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. Let's find a train. Oh, it has to be a DC train. Back in a sec. Let's go with my trusty little Conrail switcher. Okay guys, here we go. I hope this works. Right, powering up. Now, don't panic. I anticipated this possible failure and I do have a solution. The problem is these male dowels are not making a great connection in its little female areas. Oh, that sounds terrible. So what I think I'll do, as I say, I did predict this may happen. I need to make a couple of springs. I mean, it would be great if I could just find off the shelf springs, but that's not going to happen. So I'm going to make some springs from this wire. So it's the solid core wire I used for in there. Let's see, I'll strip this off. Not sure how much I'll need. That might be enough. One more for luck. And we'll wrap it around this little paintbrush and see if we can get a nice little coil going. Might not actually be wide enough. Let's shove it up there a bit, try and widen it up. Yeah, that should do. Snap that there. See if we can get it off again. Okay, we've got a sort of spring. Let's just fine tune this a little bit, flatten the ends. Right, pop that down the hole. Oh, we need to make another one, of course. Of course, it's too big now. Bring you back in a minute when I've made two new springs. Okay, hopefully this will work now. I mean, this will definitely work now. That's the second one in. First one is in already. Let's try again. Right, please work. Oh, there we go. So my plan B did in fact work. Awesome. And obviously, when I lift it up, it will stop. Awesome. Yeah, I'm a freaking genius. Oh, stop it. Right, got the other track to do, and then we can finally get started on the rest of the layout. I just wanted the bridge out of the way, because I knew it was going to be the hardest thing to get done. So it pretty much went to plan. Well, it went to plan B, but it's done now. I would like to get proper springs though, because obviously that's just coiled wire and it's going to compress over time. But concept, it works. It's tidy. I can also add maybe another couple of dowels for if I want maybe some flashy lights for the bridge, that kind of thing. Now that I know that it works, and it's very tidy, I like how it just disappears and looks like magic, because it is magic. Okay, I'll see you very soon. I'm going to get full steam ahead. I've got a lot of cork to cut for the road bed. I've got a lot of measuring. Oh, I suppose I should really plan out a track as well. Oh well, see you soon. Thanks for watching.